Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I am Marcia Weeks, and you are watching the Marcia Weeks Show. Let me just apologize to everybody. We weren't on um, on Wednesday. Had some technical challenges with my laptop in that it just stopped working. But we're on today, guys, and it is a beautiful day. We had a little rain, just about probably 10 minutes ago. But as of right now, it's bright and sunny, and I'm looking outside and seeing how beautiful it is, and I'm so excited about that. I'm going to ask you to share and let somebody know we're on. And today we're talking really about our young people, about the children, abuse of our children in throughout the region, guys. And today, as a mom, I sit in this chair as a mom, as an advocate, as a woman, and it's really a serious issue that we have on our hands throughout the region. Um, it is said the statistics say 1 in 3 women have been abused. So if you are we're standing somewhere, at least one of them have been abused. You don't mind how much makeup we have on and how much high heels and how much whatever we're doing, right? The point is that the abuse is rampant, and the abuse is not just we talk. Yes, there's the abuse of the girls, but there's also the abuse of the boys, and the abuse is not just sexual, but it's also physical abuse. And in the Caribbean, it's important to discipline our children, but then there is discipline and there is abuse. And I think that it is time that we were able to differentiate, between, we don't want to, in Jamaica, we call it murderation. You're going to get, your mother going to give you murderation. You're going to get murderation from your mom, or your dad. We don't want, we need to move away from that. And discipline is important. I have 3 sons, and yes, they got discipline. They got lashes sometimes too, you know. And I remember living in the US, and I was so afraid to spank him, but he was really, really out of hand. If you know my son, the name of that particular son. But if I left him at somebody's house, I had to hurry and go pick him up back, right? Especially when I brought him to Barbados. And so I had to learn to discipline my son and discipline him, that I don't have to cut his skin, and I don't have to hurt, batter him, that he has to go to the hospital. But you gotta, sometimes, if you believe in lashes, there's sometimes you're gonna have to do that. The challenge that we have is where some parents, we don't know where to draw the line, and our children who are being abused. Yes. And so the abuse is physical, the abuse is sexual, the abuse is emotional. I speaking to someone, a young lady yesterday, and she said, my mom is always telling me that I'm mad, that I'm crazy. And she says it plays on my mind. And I said, because I was asking, why do you shout at your mom? She said, I shout because I want them to understand that there's nothing wrong with me. They keep telling me that I'm crazy. And one of the things we did in our home was that we did not use any kind of, make sure that we didn't call names. So no matter how upset I was determined I wasn't going to label my children. And I think that that is important, that you don't label them and call them idiots and call them fools and call them, all of those names. I just don't like those kinds of names. Stupid. I don't, don't, we're not going to call our children stupid. There's some adults that are stupid. So I wouldn't say that I don't call people stupid, but I'm not gonna. You will not have a child in my care, and I'm gonna call that child stupid, and I'm gonna call that child foolish. Yeah, I think it's very, very important. Words are very, very powerful. When I was a little girl, I remember being called black and ugly. right? Morning, Winston. Oh man, a few of us on this morning, but let's chat. I have the link there. There's a link that is on. And guys, if you want to come in, whatever topic you want to talk on today, the link is right there, the StreamYard. Just put it in your phone or your laptop. You don't have to show your you don't have to turn on your camera. Just come on and let's have a chat. Olifemi, oh Molwene, I know that now. Molwene, hi, hi. I think I got it. I think I got it. Oh, my family, my warrior family. Good to see everybody again. I missed you all. It's good to see everybody. Guys, please share. And it doesn't matter how many of us, we just gonna have a good time. Oh, you love the headdress. Thank you, Olufimi. I was feeling all African today. Yes, yes, yes. I was feeling it, Molweni. Ah, that's a greeting. That's my greeting, Molweni. All right, good. Thank you. So guys, what am I saying? What am I saying? I'm saying, guys, that it's important when those little ones, they have been given to us in our care. They have been given to us to take care of them, and what we say to them matter. How we speak matter. What comes out of our mouth? Do we curse them? When we're disciplining them? Is it through curse words? One of the worst things I hated as a child was when I was being disciplined and the adults in my life were cursing bad words at me. Anybody ever had that? It's an awful feeling, really. And you can't speak back. You're a child, so you can't speak back, and you're being told that you are this and you are that and you're whatever, and whatever words came to their mouth, they will spew it out. And that thing gets into your system, and it's still there, and it makes you feel small and small and small like a little ant, right? So we want to talk about all kinds of abuse today, and to recognize that the children are crying out. The children are crying out, and I believe their tears, their cries are going to the ears of God. And we must be very, very careful about what we're doing. All right. I want to share with you a little bit. I was on the walk, guys. I was on the prayer walk. Anybody was on the prayer walk last Sunday? I know Winston. Winston, you're at the prayer walk, weren't you? Anybody else that was at the prayer walk on Sunday? That was so powerful. It's so good sometimes just to be still. It was silent. With placards. So the placards were speaking, but to people, but our hearts were speaking to God. And we were praying for the children. And so I want to know, anybody else still there? Winston just check in and disappear. Nobody else was on the walk, but it was really successful. I believe because why do I say it's successful? Because one, we had an opportunity to talk to God, the Most High. And so it doesn't matter, okay. So I'm Winston is saying, Winston, you want to jump on? You want to jump on and come and give me the update? I've been so caught up with CSEC, and I teach, so I've been doing accounting and math, and not math, accounting and English and managing the business, all these subjects we offer. And so I've been busy doing that. And so so if you are listening, and you can come in and give us some updates on what's happening. So Winston is saying, okay, so Winston, I'm going to post the link again. Watch, make sure you're in the Marcia Week show. You're watching it in the Marcia Week show, and you should be able to see the link. So the flip over to the Marcia Week show. That's where you will see the link. And let's come in and let's chat a little bit, guys. Winston is saying that they have sent the heads of the institutions on leave, and the minister has the audacity to say that they are not on leave for any wrongdoing. Physical and sexual abuse, lack of medical treatment, hunger, lack of education, lack of rehabilitation programs. And that's correct. You know, I hope you guys can see the link. The link is in the chat. And you can use that link to come in. and to talk with me today. But yeah, this the abuse, of our children, and it's all over the world. It's all over the world, and I think that this is time that, as a people, that this becomes something of importance, and that we seek to find a way to stem this tide. Olefimi, how is that where you live? How do in terms of the is this a big thing where you're from, Olefimi? I want to hear back from people who are watching. Now, in Trinidad, actually, in Trinidad this week, there was a little boy who left his home. That's what the reports are saying, that he wandered away from home, and later on that they found him face down in water, in a river. And that is so sad. I mean, the neighbors, people must have seen this little boy running up on this, that is pretty sad. That is pretty sad. Let's just listen a little bit from last week for those of you who might not have heard this clip. Listen in.
And I am the coordinator of this morning's prayer walk on behalf of the Global Network for Cultural Development is the organization, one of the organizations I represent. I'm also the director of Omalodu, the Trinidad Executive Coordinator of the other groups, the organizations, the individuals who have come together for this effort.
How many organizations would have put together?
About 10 about 10 to 12 organizations.
And it is Pan-African organizations?
Oh, no, not exclusively at all. There are organizations that cut right across Barbadian society and persons across the society and from throughout the diaspora as well.
All right, give us some more information about today's march. Tell us about the purpose of it.
The purpose of announce the effort of women and mothers in particular, women and mothers supported by good men and youth, announce the effort towards pushing the authorities, meaning the government, towards reforming the juvenile justice system, for one, and to bring a stop and end to the abuse of our children in state institutions. Right now, we know of this our intention to push the government to do all within its power to end all abuse of children within state institutions and wider in the wider society, because it's something that has not been dealt with for a very long period of time. And it has actually caused a sore in our society. I think this is probably the first time that it has come to the fore. It's on as it has now, but it has always been there.
All right, tell us what was the straw that broke the camel's back, that drove you?
Yes, I would have to say the story of the the young lady naked in solitary confinement for one, and then the treatment of these girls that ran away and then went with their attorneys to turn themselves into the police station, and then the treatment of them. The fact that now they're in the psychiatric hospital, apparently on suicide watch. One of the issues we have is that the real problem, the root of the problem that would have caused these girls to wander that root is not being dealt with. We have not recognized as yet that there's certain issues that are not for the court to take care of, because the court cannot take care of what is happening inside the home. What we need to do as well, what the government needs to ensure is done, is that our citizens are well prepared to be parents, so that they know how to raise their children. See that when a child says to the mother, "Mommy, you know that so and so interfering with me," You know, this body is forcing themselves on me. They're forcing me to do X and Y. That the parents understand how to deal with something like that. They don't run from it. They don't push the children further in it. And they don't cause the girls to wonder and involved in other activities that eventually puts them in conflict with the so-called legislation. A legislation that, by the way, needs to be reformed. My name is
Wow, powerful, powerful, and that is Tempu Nefertari, and she was the coordinator of the that specific event, which was the silent prayer walk that was held on Sunday. And there's so many things that she said in this piece that is of vital importance, and one is the reformation of the of the legislation that govern juveniles. And I think that there's some important, very important issues that we have to look at as a people, and not just Barbados, but throughout the Caribbean region. We're hearing of reports of in Trinidad, where the children's home in Trinidad, where they're saying that some of the children were abused. In fact, they found a ring of stuff happening there, where of drug abuse and rape and all kinds of things in Trinidad. And so it is something that there's an issue right across the road, right across the Caribbean. This is something that we really need to look at. And as Miss Navarro was talked about, look at the reasons why the girls are wandering. Why are they wandering? And if they wander, then there is a charge. But we're not looking at oftentimes what is the situation at home. Why are they leaving home? Why are they on the street? Why are they spending time out? I mean, I've had to speak to so many young ladies who have been abused, and a lot of times the abuse is coming out of their home, or family, extended family. So we have to look at it from all sides. And I think as she said, it's a movement of women, mothers, and we went out on Mother's Day. I was part of it. Michelle, I see Michelle here. Michelle was part of it. Men were part of it as well, who went out on Mother's Day, and it was really a very, very fulfilling time. I have to say that it was really wonderful, and it is just the beginning. It is just the beginning of what is happening, and it's not any one organization. What's powerful is that there's a network, and this network is happening right across Barbados, and my understanding it has stretched into Trinidad and stretched into Jamaica. And people are coming together to do some great things that are happening. So I want you to use the link. If you check the Marcia Weeks page, you will see the link there, and you can come in. I'm still having some challenges, so things that I want to show you, I'm not able to show you because of what's happening here with the internet. So I'm having some challenges, but we're moving on. But just let me say that I don't know if anybody from Trinidad that's watching can give us an update on the little 2-year-old boy. So this little boy was actually walking. He left home and he wandered from home and ended up in under the bridge. Some people believe there might be some foul play. And a neighbor said, her account is that she saw the boy. And so she was walking after the boy, and the little boy walked, this 2-year-old boy walked, so far away that she couldn't touch him. I would be running. I would be running. I mean, if you could run, you would run, wouldn't you? To try to get this little baby. And the little baby was just baby in his dead. And I mean, I'm saying we have to look out for the children more. This is the child's month, and whether it's child's month or whatever time of the year it is, the children, they're important. I remember in my own life, going through physical abuse. I grew up in a situation where it was abuse in abuse in evening. I have so much cuts in my head from being abused. Cuts on my body from being abused by the adults in my life. And it's terrible. It's terrible. You feel like nothing. And this is one of the reasons why this topic really means so much to me. I mean, someone told me the other day my head was hot. My head was hot because I can just imagine what those children are going through. I remember just getting up so scared. It causes you as a child to be so afraid because you don't know what is going to happen. And I think, I mean, the thought would come in your head to run away, but I was so scared of the adults to run away that I didn't run away. I would probably have been like one of these girls wandering because of all the things that I went through. And I know some of you who are listening have been through a lot of things as well. Both men and women. It's not just the women, but I know that a lot of this in your childhood. You have been through a lot of pain, caused by adults. We have little boys who have been molested by the people that are in their lives. I remember, there was a scout leader. He was in charge of scouts and was trying to get my mom to send my one of my brothers on a retreat with them. And my brother was so badly, and my mom just had a feeling. She said, "No, you're not going." And that was the best decision that she made, because it turned out weeks later, we saw in the news the man abused the boys that went on the retreat. Can you imagine people plan things like that to take away children so that they can hurt them? And sometimes when they hurt the children and they want to do away with the evidence, they kill the kids. This is the kind of thing this is what we're living in. This is the kind of society that we're living in. This is a kind of society. Okay. So I'm saying, guys, that there needs to be some amount of accountability, and an understanding of who children are. Who are sometimes we have children. I'm a product of teenage pregnancy. I'm a product of teenage pregnancy. And so out of that came a lot of things, because obviously, my mom wasn't prepared for me. She wasn't prepared for me. And coming out of that came so many things that were done to me. And there are lots of people that are listening like that you are what they call unplanned. And because in their minds you're unplanned, they kind of treat you like you're a rag doll. And when a child goes through that kind of trauma, it really takes a lot. It takes a lot of counseling. It takes a lot of therapy to be able to get them to believe in themselves and to love themselves. Because what they're telling themselves is, if my mom or my dad or my aunt or my grandma could treat me like this, and could beat me up like this, and can abuse me like this, and can sexually abuse me, that I am nothing. I'm nothing. There's nothing to me. And that is what a lot of these young girls, what they feel. Only This week I was speaking to a young girl, and I saw her and her behavior told me that something was wrong. When a child is getting suspended from school, a child is fighting at school, a child, they're acting out. You see some behavior. I'm talking to her, and she has her hand around, tight around her body, and won't, just folded for the entire time. It's telling me there's something that she's trying to protect herself from. She's protecting herself. There's body language. There's certain things that you can actually look for, and I happened to be able to. I had an opportunity to speak to her one-on-one, and right there and then she was able to tell me, "Mom, the truth is she broke down. I was abused. I was sexually abused." And the thing about it is that a lot of times, the parents are trying to figure out what is going on with this child. Why are they acting out? What are they doing? What This doesn't make sense. Teachers notice the behavior, a change in the behavior, and they don't know what it is. And I tell you something, guys, I would say 9 out of 10, there's something, that trauma that happened in that child's life, because they didn't come to the earth like that. They came innocent. I tell you, 9 out of 10 times there is trauma, whether physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse. In my case, it was physical abuse and emotional abuse, to the point where even when I was a teenager, I didn't want to look in the mirror, because I was told daily by the people that mattered in my life that I was black and I was ugly. So as a child coming up, you could call different kinds of names, which is a reason in my case I insisted that we don't call them any kinds of names, no nicknames, no teasing and using names, because when we are laughing and we're thinking that it's okay, it's not really okay, because years down the line there are people going to therapy because of names that they were called in school. So I don't like name calling. I don't like branding people, branding children. I don't like it at all. Even if they come at me and tell the teachers, no, you don't call the children any names. Don't call anybody in the school stupid and foolish and ignorant and all whatever, all the names, idiots. Absolutely not. Don't Nobody called name. If a student calls another student a name, I'm going to correct them, because of the impact name calling had on me. So this morning I just feel like talking to you all. Yeah. Yeah, you feel like you're less than nothing, because if the significant people in your life, they tell you that, that's what you're going to believe. You're going to believe that you're nothing. And that is what happened to me. I went to school and I wouldn't speak. I would go in the back of the class. I was so afraid to do everything, because of the emotional and the physical abuse. I just felt like I was nothing, and I didn't have anything to say. Nobody would want to hear anything from me. If I tried to talk, you would a little mouse, because my spirit was broken. My spirit was broken by physical abuse and emotional abuse. And that's the truth of what happened. And it wasn't until I started going to counseling, until I started going to therapy, until I started to I became a Christian and connected with God and started to pour my heart out to Him. And God, the Almighty God, the Most High, began to heal my heart. Then I began to realize my worth and who I am. And I can speak to anybody who wants to listen. And so there's hope. But I'm saying, why would we want to break those children's spirit, before they could even understand who they are? And once we've painted that picture, you see, we paint a picture. When that child comes into the world, we paint a picture to them of who they are. And we are painting the picture by the words that we speak to them. because there's a life and death in the tongue. So if you speak certain words, those words are going to build up the picture in their minds of who they are. So if you're going to curse them all the time and all your discipline is hitting them upside the head, bursting their mouth, thumping them in the eye, kicking them about, that you're painting a certain picture to them that they are not more than a dog, that they're more, that's how they see people treat dogs and animals. So they grow up, and that's the picture that you painted. And when you speak certain words to them, the words are painting the picture. You are ugly, you are not good, you're a whore, you are whatever, you're dumb, you're an idiot, you're stupid. That's the picture that we paint of our children, and they believe it. And somebody said, why are they going to believe it? Why would they believe that? Don't they know who they are? No, they don't, because you are the significant people in their lives. And because you're the significant people in their lives, they believe what you say. It's only natural. People are going to believe their grandma, they're going to believe their uncle, they're going to believe their teacher. And that's why I, as a parent, as when my children were at primary school and even secondary school, I will not let any teacher get away with name calling my child. You call my child a name, I'm going to get down to the school and we're going to have a conversation, because you are setting up my child for failure. You are breaking his spirit. You are painting a picture for my child of who he is, because you're a significant. And it's going to cost him a lot of money and a lot of therapy to undo that, and to basically recreate that picture, to repaint that picture, and to live by the script that God has for him or her. So this is Child's Month, and I'm saying to everybody, let's put the children first. Well, it's Child's Month. And we're not going to go the other extreme where you're going to spoil the children now. Let's not go the other extreme and spoil them. Where there's no discipline in their lives, and there are no boundaries and all of that. No, what we're talking about is being a parent, is being an aunt, a good aunt, a good uncle, a good caregiver, a good guardian, a good teacher, a good godmother. Important, very important for all of the people, that the children that come in our way, come in our path, right? That there's a certain, that we treat them with dignity. They are people. And they have feelings. And because you have jurisdiction over them, it doesn't give you the authority to put a foot in their back and to step on them and to step on their neck. It doesn't give you that authority to believe that you're in control of them. So the link is in the chat, guys. This is the Marcia Week Show. And if you check the Marcia Week Show Facebook page, you will see the link there. You will see the link right there in the Marcia Week Show Facebook page. The link is there, and please feel free to come in and share your thoughts. As you know, I wasn't on Wednesday, and I'm kind of operating on one wing today. Everything is not totally where it is supposed to be, but you know what? I felt I wanted to come on today and to talk. So we will have this discussion. We want to keep the activism going. Yeah, we want to keep the activism going. Did anybody hear about the little boy anybody heard about the little boy in Trinidad? Anybody heard about what's new? Did was it did someone hurt that boy, or was it an accident? Does anybody know? Anybody has any any updates on that? Okay. No updates? No updates. I mean, that is really, really so sad. Really so sad. I want to share a video with you about it's a video from UNICEF, and it's talking about a child who's recovered from sexual abuse in Jamaica, where it is also very rampant. And so let's look. This is a powerful testimony of a young girl who is a sexual abuse survivor. Okay, a sexual abuse survivor. So listen, just listen.
I was raped at the age of 9 by my stepfather. The police didn't take me. His family members sent him away to some other country, and they couldn't find him. In that family, it was as if something went wrong, there are to be blamed for it. I think it's very important when you have family beside you, because we can't do it on our own. At some point, we need support. Late for the last 8 months. When I met her, she was very, very shy and scared.
She told me that her stepfather abused her too. She told me that not to blame myself for what happened to me. Most of the time, my mother used to curse me and say, "You go have sex with man, give me this and me can't come in yard."
My mother and I couldn't relate to nothing at all. She even tried to beat me when she found out that I was raped. When I think about things we could share together, she's not here, so I don't want another teenager to lack that.
She said to me that my mother do not know my feelings, so we have to sit down and talk about each other so we can know each other's feelings. Then she helped me a lot with my mother.
It's very important to have a bond with the child, explain to them from very early what can happen. My daughter, she's now 7. I talk to her about good touch, bad touch, and because most times it's the family members who does the damage. So then I reinforce in her not only strangers should you be afraid of. I teach her to trust me enough that she can come to me and tell me anything. For somebody who has been raped, don't stop there. Yes, you can get help. You can go far, way beyond. Life don't stop there, I swear. I don't think less of myself, I think higher. I want to aim for the sky.
Yeah, and I do actually the same experience. Yeah, and I'm the same way.
Wow, wow, wow. This is a story of hope, isn't it, guys? A story of hope. I'm watching it, and I guess I love to cry for everything, but to see their story. And to hear their story, it's such a hope and some nuggets in that little presentation there, guys. They talked about the importance of family support, because notice that the two girls in this clip, that they both went through similar things. One was raped by her stepfather, and she said the police didn't come until a week later. And not only that, she said that her mother wanted to beat her when the mother found out that she was raped. So she was being blamed for the rape by the significant, like her mother. Think about that. So then, and then this other little one who got raped by her uncle, her mother was calling us, saying that she went out and go and slept with men and all of that. So, and they talked about how important it was to have support, family support. Family support is so important. And I know that there are some survivors out there listening to me, and you would agree that family support is so important. Sometimes you talk to these young ladies. I remember speaking to one of them this week, and one of the things she said to me was, "Ma'am, do you think my mom is going to believe me? She's going to think I'm telling a lie. Nobody's going to believe me." And I had to let her know, I believe you. I believe you. And I will be there as support. And me and my husband were there to support her. Yes, so it is a support is a very, very important. And you know what? When she went to her mom believed her. She went, the mom actually believed her, but she was doubting that the mom was going to believe her. And these kinds of things happen. But what they need is support. They need support. It's important that we provide that for them, to give them that hope. And she said also that she has a daughter, and her daughter, she bonds with her daughter, and to let the daughter know what is good touch and what is bad touch, and for her daughter to know that you can be touched wrongly by somebody in the family. Because majority, you notice these two cases, one was a stepfather, and then the other one was an uncle. And so we have to be careful of our children, both boys and girls. So for my children, I really worked hard on not having them going anywhere to sleep over, or not going anywhere for any long periods of time without me. My children, they are with me. Yes, we had retreats at the school where all the kids went out, but to send our neighbor's house or friend's house to spend a weekend and all that, we just never liked that idea at all. And obviously, because of the stories that I would hear in my school dealing with the girls there at our school there at Praise Academy, it was just a lot. So and you know I think today I'm just talking, I'm just sharing my heart with you. I think one of the hardest things that I put was one little girl. She was like I love that child so much. If I when I went to the school, if I got to the school at 7 o'clock in the morning, guys, right? If I got to the school at 7 o'clock in the morning, that little girl was outside the school waiting on me. Especially like in the summer and so on. And I always wonder what happened. Why? And she would take a bus coming from St. Philip, and the school is in town. And I would be asking her, "Why are you here so early?" I had no idea what's happening to that child. But I noticed she would be the last to leave the school and the first to come there. And I would drop her home sometimes because she would be there. Auntie, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to clean the floors? Do you want me to clean the bathroom? And she was a very bright girl at one of those top schools in Barbados. But she was so wanting to work, wanting to help me. She wants to answer the phones at the school. She wants to do everything. And I'm saying, why is she there? Anyway, turns out that she started to tell some of the younger girls that her dad Her own flesh and blood was raping her. And that he would give her, he would let her watch porn when the mother was out, and then he would rape her. And she told us that during her CXC exams, you know how the kids would stay home if they don't have particular day, and they stay home to study. That when she stayed home to study, he stayed home from work. And her own flesh and blood dad, who was a worship leader at a church here in Christchurch, and that father, molested that child on her days when she was not doing her CXCs. I am telling you these stories. And I remember I was on a film set, and after every break in the bathroom and just cry. I would just weep and weep. That thing tore me up, And through her school, we collaborated with her school, so she came to us for dance and theater, but we collaborated with her school, and the whole thing was reported, thankfully, and was tastefully done, so that she was not embarrassed at school, because you can't hear stuff like this and do nothing about it. And you know what? It got in the hands of the police. The father and the mother tried to contact us, met with us. It was to change our story, to say it's not what we heard, it's not what happened. I am telling you, the adults are something else, you know. And it turned out that nothing came of it. Nothing came of it. Absolutely nothing. Right? So it's really something when the things are happening to our young people, to our children, and nothing happens. And so I want to say to you guys, as they said on this, is support them. Don't assume that these children, whether it's a boy or a girl, that they're telling lies. Don't assume that. And it is important, very, 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 very important, that they are supported. They know that they have a place that they could come to. There's a person in the family that I could talk to. They need to know that they have that person, because sometimes what happens is that it pushes them really in the arms of somebody else. So then they end up in the wrong places. They end up speaking to the wrong people. They end up getting counsel from the wrong persons. And so you don't want that to happen. And so it is important that the support that they are receiving, that it's from people who would be able to give them the correct kind of support. you know so nobody's coming on today. You're gonna leave me on here by myself today? Wait, I'm going to be left by myself today. Anybody is coming on? Anybody? Is there anybody out there who's a survivor? This girl said, the young lady in the video, she said, I can assure you there is a life after rape. Is there really is there really life after rape? Is there anybody who can say, listen, or molestation, whatever you call it, is there really life after rape, after sexual molestation? Is there anybody, male or female? Male or female? Don't be shy. You don't have to turn on your camera. All right. You can, even when you come on, you can change your name if you want to change your name. But guys, and to let people know that, that, listen, I've been through it. And in that video, you notice the older girl was able to get the younger girl to open up, because she was able to tell her, well, you know what? I was abused too. And I know what you're going through. And I understand why your mom is behaving that way. Right? So it's important that, you know, we tell our stories. Sometimes we're a little too hush hush. Hush hush, and we, you know, we want to so let's look at this little clip here, because this clip is interesting. It's interesting because this is from Trinidad, and what we're saying is that it's not, you know, it's not something that is common to just Barbados, but you know, it is all through. I don't know if people are commenting, but I'm not seeing any comments. I don't know if that's part of the technical challenge that I'm having, but this one is a bit different, okay? And this is the sexual abuse of a male child by a female, and I have heard of those. And you know, we don't give these kinds of reports enough. We focus a lot on the women, and we don't focus a lot on the men. And I remember being in college, and you know, some of my college mates, they were telling me, guys, that their first encounter with sex was, you know, with a female in their family. So it happens to the men too, through babysitters. One guy told me it was a babysitter that you know, that messed with him. You know, I've spoken to a woman who is not married, but said how she messed with a young boy. She was working in England taking care of children, and she you know, funded a little boy. Yes. And so we don't think about these kinds of things happening to men and happen to boys, but we have to protect our boys as well. Okay, so let's listen to this
A
report.
28-year-old woman appeared before an Arima magistrate on Friday, charged with 2 counts of sexual penetration against a male child. Molly Hulia Mahabir was granted $40,000 on the condition that she cease all communication with the victim. The offenses against the then 13-year-old boy are alleged to have happened at her home during August 2016 and 2017. She was arrested at her home on Monday, 20th, by the Northern Division Child Protection Unit. The charges were laid in accordance with the Child Act 2012, Chapter 4601, which states penetration of a child includes A. The incision of any body part or any object into a child's bodily orifice, or B. The incision of a part of a child's body into a person's bodily orifice. William Mahabir is scheduled to reappear in court on Friday, 21st September 2018. Meanwhile, the Children's Authority is calling on the public to recognize that sexual abuse of boys by women and must be reported. They issued a release which said, in order to protect children from abuse, society needs to change its assumptions about child sexual abuse, victims, and perpetrators. Parents and guardians are encouraged to let boys know that they can be sexually groomed by a male or female adult who will befriend them by building a close relationship in order to gain their trust with the intention of later engaging in sexual activity. If anyone suspects sexual grooming, they should take the evidence and any information about the alleged perpetrator to the police and report the matter to the authorities' hotlines at 996 or 800 2040.
Oh man, and you know the thing about this is
Speaking
that
of Hollywood, here's a question.
let me turn
Which
this
country
up.
in the world?
Yeah, sorry about that. You know, guys, you know, speaking about this situation here, with this woman from Trinidad, you know, who is probably 3 times the age of this boy that she, you know, molested. The boy was 13 years old, and you know, she at least Trinidad, they're charging her. because somehow we believe that it's only girls, right? Somehow we believe that this only happened to girls. And there's something that they talked about there called grooming. And a lot of our children, they're not discerning to realize that they're being groomed. So so that they're being befriended, they want them to gain their trust. And that's part of the grooming that happens. You start to, they want to say, okay, call me, some kind of name that is endearing. They give calling little nicknames, and they touch you on the shoulder, and then they move up and they move up and they move up. And it happens to boys as well. And that's today, that it is not just girls, but boys can be groomed as well. And I don't know if people are commenting. If you want to comment and for me to see the comment, you would need to comment on the Marcia Week Show, so that I'll be able to see and can read your comments in the comment section. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, boys can be sexually groomed as well and sexually molested, as you saw in that clip. I'm saying kudos to Trinidad on that occasion, that they actually charged a woman, and it was done by a female. It was done by a female. Yes. And a lot of guys, they get older, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the fact that a woman molested them. They don't want to talk about that the woman forced them to do oral sex on them and all kinds of different things. They don't want to talk about that. A lot of men don't want to talk about that. And we call them, we say, oh, they're behaving like a village ram, they're promiscuous, they're going from place to place. Well, guess what? We're a whole set of abused people. Sexual abuse. When you touch a child wrong in a wrong place, and they've been touched wrongly from such a tender age, you're opening them up. There, you open up their sexual appetites. And as some of our men in society, that has happened to them. Hence, we find some of them that they're so promiscuous. And so we go way back. We blame it on slavery, which is true. Some of it is blame and slavery, but some of it is what we're doing right now. Some of it is what is happening right now, how we're treating each other right now. So never you think that your little boy would not be or cannot be molested by an older woman. Don't ever think that. Don't ever think that, well, I'm okay because I only have girls. Right? I only have girls, and therefore only, I need to be worried about my girls and not my boys. Be careful. Be careful. Keep your eyes open. Be discerning. Okay? Keep being discerning over your children. Very important. Watchful. Be very watchful. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or if it's a girl. Today is just, I am just speaking to you from my heart. And we've seen two videos, one from Jamaica with two survivors, two children who were actually raped, one by a stepfather, one by an uncle. And then we saw the video, the news report of the little boy, the boy who was raped by the woman. Okay. And so it is important, very, very important that we talk to our children about these things, talk to them about grooming and how they groom you and prepare you for that kind of activity. Again, the link is there, and if you want to come on and have a conversation with me, feel free to click the link and to come on and let's chat. Let's chat. Or are you a survivor? If you're watching and you're a survivor of any type of abuse, is it physical abuse like in my case, or is it sexual abuse? I'm a survivor of physical abuse, emotional abuse. If you were sexual abuse, come on and share with us. I shared my story today, and if you want to come on and to share your story, feel free to come on. The link is there. If you check the Marcia Week show, you will see the link. There's a StreamYard link that you can use to come in and to let's have a talk. We have a few more minutes left in the show, so feel free to come on. Yeah. So feel free to come on. Feel free to come on and share the live. Yeah, so let's watch another one of another video of survivors of sexual abuse. And we're saying today, listen, there's a life after abuse. So you've been abused, and what? You can go through, you can use prayer. Some people use prayer. I think prayer helped me a lot. Yes, I did go to counseling and therapy, but for me, a lot of it came through prayer, through reading, through researching, through hearing from other survivors. So there are different ways that you can, find ways of coping, right? Okay, so here is another video that I want to share with you this morning.
I was sexually abused when I was about 8 by an I've assaulted on 4 different occasions.
I was 6 years old. The first time that I was molested.
A neighbor named Hank took me into his house. And at first it was hugging, and then his hands traveled. And when I tried to push him away, he beat me. And then he raped me.
And I was haunted by the fact that this happened in a little girl's bedroom. For a long time, I blamed myself. I was just angry. Because I go to school, and nobody in school knew what was going on.
When I tried to tell my mom, she kicked me out of the house and laughed at me and told me I would never deserve anything better.
It became something that lasted until I was 17 years old.
I remember after it happened, and after he left, sitting for a while, torn up and saying, I am never going to tell another living person about this. I went and got my friends. And I drove them home.
Thank you for reading that, Katrina.
Thanks.
Now, if you had the chance, how would you respond to this person's story?
I just feel like, or just like, hug her. And just let her know it's not her fault.
You were a little girl. It's not your fault.
You'll have the chance to meet that person because they're here today. This is James Metters. This is Mark Godoy Jr. This is Isaac Andrade. This is Walter Castaneda. This is Glenn Hall. He served in the Army for 30 years, retiring as Command Sergeant Major. And what you just read is his story. What you just read was his story.
Oh my God.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Thank you for reading that story.
No, the statistics 1 in 6. I'll go into a room and I count 6 men. There's somebody else in here, and they're probably dealing with it the same way I dealt with it, which is not talking about it.
To share the same experience, I was young, and I was in college. I was sexually abused. We don't talk about these things, but it happens.
I grew up in a Latino household where
I know what that's like.
my dad telling me, no llores, cabrón, no eres vieja, you're not a girl, don't cry. And on the other side, you're getting abused and you don't know what to say.
I joined the army to die. From the time I was born till I was 70. Masculinity made me put away what I was feeling and not really deeply feel what happened to me, recognize and acknowledge what happened to me.
Getting suspended in the 4th grade, getting in a fight, getting expelled from one high school, it's all part of the abuse. And it's all part of me, my child, my inner child acting out and starving for attention.
One of the reasons I rose in the rank of the military, they like tough guys. But inside I was dying.
That what happened to me wasn't because of who I am. It was something that was done to me. It's not me.
I know a lot of males are too afraid to speak up, but I'm real open because I want to inspire the male survivors. That's not just males with disabilities, but also males without disabilities.
I identify myself as a Black gay survivor. I had a lot of fear. This is my story. If you want to read it, read it.
And the response I got after that was nothing but kind.
Every time I share my story, especially as a man, I always hear back, hey, can I talk to you? Yeah, what's up? This happened to me too. This happened to me too. This happened to me too.
I'm not doing it just for myself. It's for many others whose voices not been heard before.
It's really hard not to cry. I'm really glad you've done the work, and I know that you changed somebody's life. So that's all I can say without crying.
You can survive it. You can get through it.
I think you're just so strong. Like, I don't know if you know it, but you're very strong.
Thank you.
It's made me realize everybody has a story.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if you watched that, guys, without crying, but I couldn't. The tears just came. I don't know even if you're out there. I'm not seeing any comments from anybody. I don't know if you're out there and you're even watching, but these videos are really educating me and inspiring me. And this was about men. These were men, and they're saying 1 in 6 male have been abused. And as I said, sometimes we focus on the women because the women might shout a little louder. But the abuse is happening to our men as well, to our boys. And we have to guys, it's really sad, but it's happening. And as adults, we have to provide that support for them. We have to provide that support for our boys. As I said, I'm not sure why I'm not seeing anybody on, but I know you're there, and I pray that we will hold our children a little closer today. We will hold them a little closer. Can you imagine what it means like to be abused from you were born until now you're 17 years old? Do you think, can you imagine that trauma for that person? And this particular one was actually, he was actually himself. He had a mental issue, and sometimes they take advantage of people like that. So it's really It's really saddening. It's very, very saddening. But you know what? People survive, and there's a life after abuse. There's a life after abuse. The cries have come up. The children are crying out, or children are crying out, but there is a life after abuse. And I think that that is one of the things that's ringing today. Life after abuse. You can live again. You can live again. There is a life after abuse. And if there's nothing else that, that you take away, I want you to take that away today, that you can live again. You can live again. Um, and I want to put my number up here. And this is the school's number, not my personal number. And if you want to speak to somebody abused and you want to speak with someone about your abuse, I'm going to ask that you can call this number and we will be able to put you on to, counselors and get you into a safe environment. Listen, you can live again, you can live again. It's not, all is not lost. You can live again. There's some people, they feel they have no hope and they go ahead and they kill themselves, and they just feel like, they have to, it's only suicide is the only way out. They have no hope. But you can live again. You are not trash. You are not garbage. You are someone. You are special. You're still special. You still have those special qualities, because guess what, they try to destroy your your outer body, and they went into and messed up even your emotions. But guess what, you still have spirit. Your spirit is there, and your spirit is really who you are. And you can rise again. You can rise again. You can rise again. And one of the things that helped me really was journaling. And I'm going to be crying today because I am surviving. I survived physical abuse, guys. And because there's some of my abusers are still alive, I am not able to to speak and to call, I don't want to call names. I, as a survivor of physical abuse, let's be clear, of physical abuse and emotional abuse, is journaling. I find journaling to be very important, because what it did for me, that physical abuse made me felt like I was nothing. Because if the people that were important to me could hurt me in such ways, then I must be nothing. I must not be valuable then. But when I met God, I came into contact with God. And I can't tell you that after I came into contact with God, that the abuse stopped. It didn't stop. It didn't stop. It didn't stop there. But I was able, through that and through, as a little girl, I knew how to pray. And I would pray all the time. And, guys, at 11, 12, I was fasting. And I know it sounds ridiculous. And you're probably thinking, someone put her up to that, and someone, she's following adults. It was this drive inside of me, and I prayed a lot, and I fasted a lot, and I cried out to God. I remember once I was beaten and beaten and beaten so terribly, and I lay down on the ground. It was a house that was being built, and I lay down on that ground. And I cried out. I cried out. I was screaming out. And I wasn't screaming out for pain, but my cries were crying out to God about this abuse. I was crying out to Him, and I was asking Him to help me. I was asking God to help me. And He did. He did. And He provided people for me. People who were able to help me. When I got to college, they put me into some counseling program. because the devil meant for me to die. He wanted to kill me. Use the significant people in my life to kill me. So I was battered physically. I was battered emotionally, but God kept my spirit alive and strong. And eventually, my spirit became so strong that it was able to I guess heal my soul, you know. And so I'm able to do stuff like this, and to share with you. I had no here and share like this today, but these tears that I'm crying today, it's tears of joy, because I am looking at my life. I'm looking at my life and saying, what a miracle I am. What a miracle I am. I am a miracle. I'm a miracle. I'm a miracle child because I was supposed to be dead. But God. But I'm here today because of God. I'm here today because of God. And that's why, you know, it doesn't matter what anybody wants to tell me. I will not let go of God. He's been too good to me. Yeah, he's been too good to me. I will never, because without him, I couldn't even be here speaking to you. And I didn't plan to come on and to bear my soul, but I came on to. I decided to talk to you today from my heart, because I'm talking about hearing the cries of the children. And we can't hear the cries of the children, you know, if we're so disconnected, and we're not being vulnerable, and we're not, you know, making ourselves vulnerable. And as I said, as a survivor of physical abuse and emotional abuse, I can say there's a life after abuse. You can get over it. You can be strong again. Yeah. You know, Steve, I would love for you to come on. The link is there. The link is there. Today is a very quiet day, and I think God set me up today. I didn't come on here to cry or anything like that, but God set me up today, and I was able to, as a survivor, to let you know there's no need for you don't need to end it all. There's a number there on the screen, and if you are abused, or if you were abused and you're still living with that trauma is resounding in your body. Yeah, sometimes that trauma affects you so much, it affects you physically. Some of you are sick because of it. Ulcers and cancers and all kinds of things, you know, all that you've gone through. Yeah. I want to say to you, don't give up. There is a life after abuse. You can live again. You can live again. You can live again. You can live again. My friend Steve is on, and I'm also emotional today, Steve. And I love how you're saying that God is good to us and He's speaking to us.
Yes. God is speaking
And
to
I
us.
think God is speaking to us to take care of the children. Yeah, go ahead,
Yes.
Steve. Good to hear you.
Yes. Let me say, my mother and grandmother was brought up in this religion called Christianity. I exclude myself from that. But I always know, and I always ask as a child coming up, who have made us, because we haven't made ourselves. Well, I was told that there's a God. I believe in a God who have made us. I don't believe that we've made ourselves as much as people want to make us believe we've made ourselves. God speaks through. God speaks to us and through us in many different ways. I will go on to further say that no matter what they are talking about, removing God out of whatever it is they want to do, they can remove God from words in a book and words on paper, but they can't remove God out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where that we need to recognize that no matter what evil people do, there's certain things they cannot take away from you. You know, unless you allow them to take away that, and
Yes.
unless you subscribe to their doctrine,
Mm-hmm.
they can take it away. But as long as you don't subscribe to their doctrine, they're got a problem, not you. And this is where we need to stand up and be unified and be resolute. This is way beyond friendship, party politics, anything like that. When God moves you, you do not know that you've been moved. It's a change
Mm-hmm.
that you doesn't even recognize yourself.
It is so true. It is
You
so
know,
true.
I never thought for a million years that I'll be on the Marcia Week show speaking about things. When I left and went to Barbados, I never even look at anything like that. I just wanted to get on with my life. Circumstances happened that it didn't. Circumstances happened that forced me back to the UK. And God sent me to Barbados. I've given up everything. I went to Barbados and moved to Barbados. And then God said, well, no, you are back there. You got to go back there. And I went back there.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, well, now you got to speak to these people because you've been in sea. You've seen how they are. You see it for yourself. And I did see it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time for you to speak to these people and make these people understand what's going on. And it's not about, first of all, it's not about going to a building to have faith in God. Forget about the building nonsense as you've been bought to believe, and people are telling you, oh, but God see you stronger together in a building. No, he didn't. That's what's been written in a book or what's been told. We need to stop going to books to get education, and we need to stop going to books to build up our self-confidence and justify why we're here. We need to stop that. We as people need to look within and recognize and realize that all of us are the same, no matter who you are, no matter what color you are. All of this ignorance is just to distract us, deflect us from our true purpose. I would like everybody that's listening to this program today to ask themselves, what is my purpose here on this planet? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? What is going on? Ask yourself these questions, because I've certainly asked myself those questions.
Correct.
All right. And we need to be very, very, very positive about the direction of change we want.
Yeah. Correct. And I mean, we're just in the last couple of minutes of the show, because I'm finishing in 5 minutes. Really.
That's not a problem, Marcia. I was on another show. I was on another show from 9 o'clock this morning, Barbados time, until I come on the show. I was on that show this morning. To be honest, a show in the UK.
It's good to have you on, and I've been putting the link there for anybody who wants to come on. And we've been just talking about abuse. Angela Cox, welcome, Angela. You know, I've been here. I didn't even know if anybody was out there. I couldn't see if anybody was even on watching. But regardless, I just sat here and just spoke. And it's been very therapeutic for me as well. So, Steve, it's good to hear you. As we're going off, we little Richard. We have no 4 minutes. You know, we talk about physical abuse and sexual abuse and emotional abuse, but look at this picture. I was trying to get a bigger picture on my screen. I'm not seeing it. Do you see this children
let me jump
running?
on that very quick. Let me jump on that very quick. I do not understand what the people in Barbados are thinking. This here has gone from a health crisis not only to dictatorship but a police state, a sold out the sovereignty, and people are accepting this nonsense being due to the children. No child should go through this. This is crimes against humanity. And Bajans are sitting down accepting this nonsense from an ignorant man who called himself the Minister of Health for a virus no worse than a cold. And people in Barbados are out there wearing masks on the face. I see it here. But the most sickliest people is the ones that is killing themselves quicker with this nonsense on the face. This is absolutely crazy. Marcia, this frustrates me. People in Barbados need to take your mask off. Every politician and the health minister want to wear a mask. Go down to his job, pull him out by his whatever, and put them all on his face and tell him, now you wear them. Clown, that's what I call him.
But Steve, I'm talking today about children because my show this month is about children.
But children,
and,
yes.
And on Wednesday, I want to continue this conversation. We're going to continue this conversation on Wednesday because I would like to know who are the people responsible for allowing this to happen. These children are running a race, not walking, running. It's advisable on every level that this doesn't happen. Who authorized this?
I seen that in China, Marcia. I seen that in China. There was a little boy in China running with a mask on his face and he dropped down dead. That was earlier in the pandemic. All right, that was earlier in the pandemic that a little child was wearing a mask, running and dropped down dead. Now, why are we?
Which adult? Who did this? Who did this?
But you know something, Marcia? There is a lot of people that in prominent positions in Barbados, even down to teachers, that is allowing this crime to continue to exist. That's what's happening. There's even teachers that is allowing this crime to exist. You got a teachers board that is talking about all the children need to be vaccinated, and a vaccine that don't even work. Even the CEO of Pfizer, I got a video there where he said that even the 2 shots don't work. The 3rd shot, look, this is madness. Right? This is more than a dictatorship in Barbados, to be honest with you, Marcia. This now adds up to crime against humanity because I know for a fact that children have died in Barbados from what's going on. Marcia, I will be on your show.
Steve, we're going to continue this on Wednesday because I'm going to be continuing talking about the children. But that is what I am told to do at this time. I don't do what I'm not supposed to do.
I will be on your show on Wednesday.
About that, but I'm gonna also speak on this abuse because this is abusive. This is
that's worse than abuse, Marcia. Yeah, that's a crime. That's a big crime, not an abuse.
So to continue. So it is. This is. Anyway, Steve and everybody else who's watching today, God bless you and thank you for tuning in today. And I will see you all on Wednesday at 1 p.m. AST on Wednesday. Okay. All righty. God bless you all. Bye-bye. See you. Enjoy your Saturday. And remember, there is a life after abuse.